This is Father, and today I'm going to tell you about a man who was about to quit. Not his job, his life. Jake was trapped in a cubicle, drowning in bills, watching his dreams die one Monday at a time. Then his unsuccessful cousin said 7 words that changed everything. You're betting your life on one horse. What happened next will challenge everything. You think you know about making money. But the trap. Jake Martinez stared at his computer screen. 9:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. He'd been at work for 2 hours and already wanted to scream. Another email. Another meeting. Another pointless task for a boss who didn't care and a company that would replace him tomorrow. But here's the thing. He couldn't leave. The $4,200 monthly paycheck was the only thing keeping him alive. Rent went $400 car. Payment $300. Student loans $450. The rest vanished into groceries, gas, insurance, and utilities. He was 29 years old and felt like he was already dead. That evening, exhausted and defeated, Jake dragged himself to his aunt's birthday party. He didn't want to go, but guilt won. And that's where everything changed. The revelation. Jake saw his cousin Carlos sitting alone in the backyard, typing on a laptop. Carlos, the family disappointment, dropped out of college. No real job. Still lived with his parents. Everyone whispered about him at family gatherings. Jake grabbed a beer and sat down. More out of boredom than interest. Still doing your whatever it is you do? Jake asked with barely hidden condescension. Carlos looked up and smiled calmly. Made $11,000 last month. You? Jake nearly choked on his beer. What? How is that even possible? 11,247 to be exact. Want to see? Carlos turned his laptop around. Jake stared at the screen. Bank deposits. Multiple sources. Venmo, PayPal, Stripe. Different. Amounts flowing in from different places. How? What are you doing? Something illegal? Jake's voice was barely a whisper. Carlos laughed. No, man. 7 income streams. That's the secret everyone's too busy to figure out. Jake leaned forward, suddenly very interested. Carlos continued. Everyone thinks you need one big job. I have 7 small ones. Freelance writing. Print-on-demand shirts. YouTube ad revenue. Affiliate marketing. Digital templates. Online tutoring. Drop shipping. Each one makes $1,000 to $2,000 a month. That sounds exhausting, Jake said. It was, at first. But here's what nobody tells you. Your job. That stable corporate job you're so proud of. That's your biggest risk. You have one income source. They fire you tomorrow, you're at 0. I have 7 streams. One dies, I still have 6. I'm actually safer than you. That sentence hit Jake like a brick. His stable job was actually the most unstable thing in his life. The blueprint. 2 days later, Jake couldn't stop thinking about it. He texted Carlos, "Teach me." They met at a coffee shop. Carlos pulled out a notebook and started drawing. Listen carefully, Carlos said. Most people fail because they try to build a second full-time job. That's insane. You're already exhausted. Instead, build small income streams. Each takes maybe 5 to 10 hours a week. He drew 3 circles on the napkin. Step 1. Start with skills you already have. Can you write, design, code, teach something? That's freelancing. I'm not a professional writer, but I can write better than most businesses can. $50 an hour, 5 hours a week. That's $1,000 a month. Step 2. Create once, sell forever. Digital products. I made a resume template 2 years ago. Took 1 afternoon, sells for $12. Still sells 3 times a day without me touching it. That's over $1,000 a month from 1 afternoon of work 2 years ago. Step 3. Leverage other people's products. Affiliate marketing. You recommend products you actually use, earn commission. No inventory, no customer service. Jake's eyes widened. How long did this take you? Carlos smiled. To hit 10K? 18 months of consistent work. First 6 months, made maybe $400 total. Lots of failures. But month 7, I broke $1,000. Month 12, $4,000. Month 18, over 10K. It compounds. The grind. Jake went home that night unable to sleep. For the first time in years, he felt something dangerous. Hope. The next morning, he woke up at 5 a.m. before his day job and started. He created a profile on Upwork and applied to 20 freelance writing jobs. 19 rejections. 1 response, $25 for a 500-word article. It took him 3 hours to write. That's $8 an hour. Worse than minimum wage. But it was proof. Proof that money could come from somewhere other than his soul-crushing job. Week 2. Jake launched a print-on-demand t-shirt store using free designs he created. 0 sales for the entire week. Week 3. He started a YouTube channel reviewing budget tech products, adding affiliate links. The first video got 12 views, all from his mom and her friends. Jake wanted to quit. This was humiliating, but Carlos kept checking in. Month 1 is always brutal. You're planting seeds. They haven't grown yet. Trust the process. Month 2, Jake made $340 total across all 3 streams. Month 4, $890. Month 6, $106.80. His corporate salary hadn't changed, but now money was coming from other sources, and it was growing. The breakthrough. Month 9 was when everything clicked. Jake's YouTube channel hit 10,000 subscribers. The affiliate commissions jumped to $800 that month alone. His freelance writing clients started referring him to others. Suddenly, he was charging $100 per article instead of $25. His print-on-demand store finally found its niche. Funny accounting shirts. CPAs loved them. Month 12. Jake made $4,200 from his side hustles, the same amount as his monthly salary. He stared at his bank account in disbelief. He'd just worked his full-time job and made the same amount on the side. For the first time in his adult life, Jake felt something he'd forgotten existed. Freedom. Month 15. $7,100 from side hustles. Month 18. $10,400. The decision. Jake walked into his boss's office on a Monday morning. No fear, no anxiety, just calm. I'm giving my 2 weeks' notice. His boss looked shocked. We're about to promote you. More money, better title. Jake smiled. I appreciate that, but I'm not leaving for another job. I'm leaving to work for myself. 2 weeks later, Jake walked out of that office for the last time. No more pointless meetings. No more emails at 11 p.m. No more begging for vacation days. He was free. Now let me tell you what happened next. Within 6 months of going full-time on his businesses, Jake scaled to $18,000 a month. Within a year, over $25,000, not because he worked more hours, but because he finally had the time to work smarter. But here's the real lesson. Jake didn't escape because he found a magic formula. He escaped because he stopped betting his entire life on one income source. Most people think security comes from a stable job. But true security? That comes from multiple streams of income that can't all disappear at once. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. Jake didn't. He built his freedom while keeping his safety net. It took 18 months of early mornings, late nights, and small wins that most people would have dismissed as not worth it. But those small wins compounded, and compounding always wins. So ask yourself, are you betting your entire financial future on one horse? And what happens if that horse falls? This is Father, and that's the blueprint. Now go build your streams.